So I talked about this a little bit in the workshops this weekend because it just seemed like really important to emphasize that. So this would be the lower back. This would be the thoracic spine, and then the cervical spine curves back this way, right? So we're usually bending here and really straining the lumbar that's already curved in that direction, right? And then the thoracic spine stays like arched like that. And then we're bending at our neck and already crunching this part that's already curved in that direction. Well, if you get right here, the back bend to go, then we turn into like the little rainbow, right? Because this part of the body already has like a shelf or a little platter, I call it, for the heart to sit on, so that you have all this length and this openness, and the lower back can stay long, and the neck can stay long, and then the heart can lift. And that's how your back bend can deepen, instead of collapsing here or collapsing here, right? So it's a natural springboard. And then when you want to come up, because it will just spring you up, right? Instead of collapsing into it and getting stuck. And so working with this line of energy so that the spine stays nice and long and open. So even in a back bend, the lower back, the whole back spine isn't being compressed. It's actually stacking, which is how we see these archways, right? No, that's how like the maximum amount of strength and power comes from the spine. So it's really important to emphasize this in these poses, especially when people are so used to moving from the head, you know, and collapsing from this very sensitive intersection. And the same with the lower back. For me, I had the super mobile lower back, so I could like bring my head to my feet, but it really wasn't serving me because I was spilling all of the power out of my front belly. I wasn't able to really get everything lined up to have a pillar to move from. And so I was talking to Raspberry about this week. It's like, we want to harness the energy in our power centers and move from that place of alignment, right? That's really significant about like what we're doing in the swing and how we're retraining ourselves from the head-centered reality to the heart-centered reality. So all of the energy can be stacked and contained and creating a container for it. So if our limbs aren't plugged in, then all the energy is spilling out. We have to plug everything in and then move that from that place of alignment, and then we're powerful. And there's that weakness or that opportunity for injury.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense?
So they have a blind spot in the thoracic area. It's like
absolutely.
Blind.
Every person that I've ever met.
Show me. It's there, but I don't realize.
Yeah. We're so used to getting around it. I mean, just there's so much mobility in the body that, you know, and most of the people, myself included, just was moving from my solar plexus, you know, and so you can see like I'm so open, but you know, there's this collapse in the front of the spine, and then that shows up as pain in the body or injury in the body. So really important to do this work, and we'll talk about why it's so important to have the leg lines connecting into the torso, and how the leg lines in the core are the same thing, and how to meet this intersection and open that up for more power and containment of the energy in the lower body. But today we get to work on this intersection and really emphasize that. And isn't it amazing to spend a whole day on this and how much depth we can go into? So let's go ahead and focus on the lungs and do. So we're all of Chillaxin, Swagger. We're just looking at the list for. We just did one pose, right? We just went into skydiver and did butterfly. But you can do upside down dog, bow. All of this is for the chest. Every pose is for the chest and heart. It really is a heart-centered practice if you look at it with that emphasis. It's pretty amazing. But we're going to get into the lungs and ribs, and we're going to repeat some of the sequences that we've done and focus on the immune boosting practice. Okay? Let's just go ahead. Now that we understand how to open the heart and what it feels like to move from that space, from that place of spaciousness in the chest, we're coming back into our Chillaxin. We're going to reach up for the leg loops. Make sure you don't have to blow your nose, because right now is the time. It's going to come flying out. Okay? So we come into our bicep curl, and then we come to sit. Okay? Doing our cool Jesus, we're just going to sit here. If you need to spread the leg loops out, that's 100% okay. The idea is not that you're like dying to get out of the pose because your hips need a break. The idea is you're able to stay here and really do the work. I want you to pull your elbows down, even if your arms are straight. Pull your elbows down and feel how that lifts the chest. Really good. Way different. That looks great, Julia. Can you feel the difference?
Yes.
Way different.
Got a question on the hips.
Yes.
You don't do that.
Huh?
You don't drop them like this, or you do?
They're supposed to be dropped.
They're supposed to be.
Yeah. If you're levitating, it means you're pushing your hamstrings down. And that we're working on the upper, we're relaxed in the upper back. So straight up and down. Straight up and down. Sink your hips back. Yeah, like that. That's it. Did you feel that roll?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's that tightness that's living in there. Okay, cool. So from this place, we're going to do breath of fire. Okay? So you can do it through your mouth if you feel like you need to blow your nose. Okay? We'll just do like 30 seconds. So here we go. Keep the chest open. All right, come on back to Chillaxin. Now, even if it's a pose that we've done 100 times, like that's how we can connect more to the lungs and the ribs in that position. Now we're going to come forward and we're going to do the breath of fire again for 30 seconds, but we're going to do it in our butterfly. Okay, so we're going to come through our skydiver and then try it in butterfly. We're just pumping the lungs with new energy, and we're going to see how that feels. And we're also, the breath of fire really ignites the fire in our belly too. So come to center, inhale, open up, exhale, reach forward for the leg loops as high as you can. So we pull ourselves up, we find our alignment, and then we lean forward. Remember, our hands are in line with the shoulders. See if you can open up, squeeze the bottom tips of the shoulder blades together. Everybody's hands needs to come more forward except for Bob. Okay, lean forward, Bob, with your heart. Okay, and then slide into butterfly. Hands are at the shoulders, they're not at the waist. Turn your fist towards you. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Okay, great. Here we go. 30 seconds. Head in line with the body. Lift your head, raspberry. Good. Sink back. Use your arms. Engage. Woo! All right. Just feel the difference in the front of the spine. Feel the difference in the energy level going up. Whew. Into the chest. In front of the torso. So we relax for 30 seconds, and we go back in for 30 seconds, etc. Usually I do 3 rounds of each. We're just going to do 1 round of each, so we can get through all the teachings. But you can see doing 3 of those, 3 of each of those, and then we have 1 more that we're going to do 3 of. It's like amazing. So the next one we're going to practice coming into bow. So I'm going to turn around so you can teach me, and we'll go in the same direction, because this one is a little tricky. So watch me first, and we'll do it together. But it's amazing so whenever we do core and inversions, that's what boosts the immune system. That's basically the summation of it. So from our Chillaxin pose, we come through our Namaste, come into Ladle, okay? Once we're in Ladle, watch me for the first one, honey. Okay, I keep holding on. I'm going to pretend like I'm sneezing, okay? I'm going to look towards my navel and come back down really quick. So then I'm going to go for 30 seconds, okay? If for whatever reason, if that doesn't feel good on your neck, you can tuck your chin into your chest and stay up and do breath of fire. Okay? But just try it. So we're in Ladle. You can come into bow as well, but let's stay in Ladle, so straight legs. And then you're going to not use your arms, just use your core. Keep holding on. Woo! Come to sit. Just take a moment to feel what the heck just happened. amazing?
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn around again. Usually people come up from that. First of all, they're in like a full body sweat. And you can feel your face is like about to pop because there's so much energy that just ran up the front of the spine. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
All right.
So I wasn't sure on that. You
Uh-huh.
aren't bending your elbows to come up. Or
Well,
is it?
the elbows can be bent. You know, you can actually, again, we're going to try it one more time, but we're going to hold it with the chin tucked in and do breath of fire to feel the difference. Because if you're having trouble like doing that movement with your neck or using your core, because I don't want you to use your head. That's why I said don't use your arms.
Crunch.
No, it's just a
Yeah.
Crunch.
It's a crunch, but it's a little crunch.
Yeah.
And if you try to do too much, then you start pulling with your arms because your core isn't strong enough. We're trying to pump the belly.
Gotcha.
Right? If we just use our arms, then we're missing out on that. We're just kinking the neck. Okay? And then we just fix the neck, so we don't want to break the neck. Just fix that. All right, let's try it one more time. So let's come through our Namaste into Ladle. And this time, to come into a full Ladle position, stretch your belly. And now you can keep the elbows bent a little bit, Bob. It's okay. But I want you to tuck your chin into your chest and then do breath of fire.
Gotcha.
A little less than 30 seconds because that's so intense. Right? Really intense on the sides of the neck to hold it. But if somebody... It's always good if you yawn because your body's getting more oxygen and blood flow. So what we're emphasizing there is getting as much pumping motion through the ribs and the lungs as possible. This is really good for clearing the ribs. Okay. There is one more that we can do, but I normally only do this if it's like a really advanced group because it is very intense. But we're going to go and do breath of fire and bow. Okay? If you don't feel up for it, it's 100% okay. But at least try it once to see how it feels because it is like so amazing. And then we'll be done with lungs and we'll be moving right along. They're like we could do all the poses that we've done before for all the Chillaxin, the whole Chillaxin sequence and dancing the Shiva sequence is good for this. Okay, coming through Namaste, Ladle. Go ahead and bend your knees. Hold on to your ankles if you can. Breath of fire. Here we go. Oh my God. That's going to clear it all out, that's for sure. Right? Whew. And now let's have a little sip of water before we go on because we want to help the body get rid of the detoxes and flow. We'll take a little break there too. Just a microsecond break, not a break. Okay? And then we're going to finish up with 5 and 6. Whew. And just take a moment to see how you're feeling